Hello everyone, Zach here from the Carnival of Randomness on behalf of our sponsor, Upsitnik & Associates. In these unprecedented times, we reflect on our future, both in the next few weeks and months, but also the upcoming years and decades. And it's time to prepare for that future. Upsitnik & Associates has been contacted by many healthcare workers, as well as old and new clients, to prepare wills, powers of attorney, and advance directives, also called a living will. All of you need these documents. So don't say you don't have any assets to speak of, no children or other dependents. Regardless of the circumstances now, you will need a will for today and tomorrow. Al Upsitnik feels so strongly about having wills and other needed documents prepared that Upsitnik & Associates can prepare your will, power of attorney, and living will at no charge. You heard that correct. No charge until the end of 2020. No hidden fees or gimmicks. Al feels so strongly about planning for the future at this time that he is willing to assist you with your future. Trust Upsitnik & Associates, attorneys for 42 years, from the Supreme Court to Alaska and everywhere in between. You can find them online, upsitnikslaw.com, on Facebook, Upsitnik & Associates, or call them toll-free 1-866-391-3299 to prepare for your future.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Carnival of Randomness, and this time our drummer was cutting the grass and he got lost. I mean, it's drummers. So, thing about Rochester, obviously we have a lot of chains here. Heck, I live by Ridge Road. I see them all the time. There was one that completely impeded traffic when it opened because I couldn't believe people would just wait. But we have many oases, is that the correct word? I hope, of small businesses, and I think they're treasures. You call it local flavor, whatever, but they provide so much. And we're very lucky today to have an owner of one of my favorites, Lovin Cup. Leslie, hi.
Hello, thanks for having me.
And now is this named after a Rolling Stones song?
It is.
I figured that out.
Absolutely. I'm very proud of you. I heard
it
first.
Like early 70s, one of their songs, like they had like the Mick Taylor, right?
Exile on Main Street. It's from that album.
Oh, I have actually the extended version. I mean, that's unfortunately, I have that dark sense of humor a little bit. And when this started, because we are in the midst of waiting the murder hornets, obviously. I thought I saw one that
I don't know. I've seen some big ones out there,
but there's a song called Ventilator Blues on there, and I saw that. I just was shaking my head no. But just a little background. How did you've been around now?
It would be 12 years the end of this month.
It is. Oh, yeah. It's at Park Point by RIT.
Yeah.
And years go by so fast for me. I was like underage when this started. Somehow you let me in, only for dinner.
Well, we're a restaurant too, so you were allowed. You were allowed. You just couldn't partake in libations yet.
I like the word. It sounds like something out of a Greek play, The Libation Bearers,
fancy.
Which is by I forgot if it was by Euripides or somebody, but one of the Greek poets wrote The Libation Bearer. Yeah. Some of our guests do actually. We have Greg on. He's the drummer, so he usually uses only one-syllable words. Some of our guests are intelligent. But how did you get the concept, the idea?
It was kind of a fleeting thought in college when I was kind of going around and watching live music and thought myself to be a hippie. I had this idea kind of before the surge of like the coffee house to have a place that was, music, coffee, some snacks, live music being at the center of it, art. And I remember my boyfriend at the time, we went around and saw Fish, which is actually where I heard the song first. And he was like,
"That's." A Pagoda. A lot of people thought he was dead for years, but he was alive. Fish.
Yeah. He kind of got the idea in my head for the name, and I was like, "Oh, that's a great name." Kind of shelved it, just thought it was like kind of like a, like a dream idea. Went to school, did all the stuff, went to corporate America, and I just kind of was like, this is not for me. And I started working for a restaurant, and I went over to RIT, for working for them, and I kind of came across this spot, and I was just like, I grew up in Henrietta, and there's just a lack of community and culture and local flavors. I like the word oasis.
I'm very big. That's the whole thing I do the show is to promote, my views on music here.
Yeah.
Everything local.
Yeah.
And I always look for these little places, and they're out there. They are out there.
Yeah, and I grew up there. Like you said, you're in Greece, and it's just a lot of corporate chains and, Jefferson Road. And I was just like, I feel like this college, this community just needs something. And I kind of came back to the idea. At this point, I had grown up a little bit more, so it kind of evolved into a full-fledged restaurant and actual music venue versus a coffee house.
Park Point itself is really mushroomed up from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's really expanded. It's like a little city-state there. It's like the bottled city of Candor almost. There's a Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, there's a few little restaurants. A few of them have not been so lucky to, I think, make it through this pandemic, but we're very lucky. It's a beautiful courtyard. We're able to do a lot of live events out there.
Yeah,
which
and it is.
really
And RIT is the one school I'm not really familiar with. I went to Fisher and U of R, but I would go there. The only thing I knew about RIT is I would get lost going to Rocky Horror there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they would have Rocky Horror and it always looked like I didn't go here because I didn't find it.
It's a lot of bricks.
But you also have the students, but you have a very big combination of every type of person is always at Lovin Cup. That's what I've noticed. It's like a good variety. It's not, you could say, oh, it's a college place. No, but it's a business person place for lunch. No, it's a hippie place.
It's very diverse. And people, when I first opened, were like, who do you want to attract? And I was like, everyone. And they were like, that isn't possible. And I'm like, yes, it is.
It's to me, and especially when I was at U of R, I used to always go to Java's. It was Java Joe's at the time, aging myself. Spot Coffee, so I'm always attracted to coffee. I was always attracted to coffee, too.
Yeah.
But you have a mix because you were really into, all the local brewing and everything.
Yeah, we try to be something for everybody, kind of a chill place where you can get food, drink, cocktails. We love working with local breweries. We are at no shortage of amazing beer here in Rochester.
Well, I admit when you had the keg off things with McBain, I had to be neutral because I like both of you, so I actually abstained. It was either have both, the little devil was, I have both because you used to have those whoever drained the keg first. And was it the skunk? What was the thing that
It was a bobcat. It was a bobcat, yep. That was the booby prize if you lost. I was just telling that story the other day. We did it for 5 years, that keg off, and then we burned the bobcat, and we both have the ashes on our shelves at the bar.
Did it have a name?
But we named him Bob. Seemed fitting,
You know
he has
what?
a Facebook page. He has a
he
Facebook
does?
page. Yeah, he lives
I know
on.
there's a couple animals that have Facebook pages on there.
Well, Joe McBain has an affinity for taxidermy. Don't let him fool you. That guy loves looking for some weird taxidermy.
But you always, you have special nights for local breweries too. I know I've been to a bunch of them.
Yeah, we have entertainment every night. So beer tastings, wine tastings. Right now, obviously, we have to kind of do things a little different. So we're doing movies on the patio on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays.
How's that going too? I know you started. I know Into the Spider-Verse is really a fun movie too.
It is. Yeah, we're trying to make Thursday kind of the music night, Friday kind of the adult hang out with your friends, throwback movie, and then Saturday family. It's going good. This week we got Spinal Tap on Thursday, Dazed and Confused on Friday, and then I think Hook is on Saturday.
I like that. A lot of people that's the Robin Williams Peter Pan
It's
movie.
Cute.
It is. I like Smee. He was always one of my favorites.
He's pretty great.
And trivia, I guess Dustin Hoffman molded Hook, Captain Hook, after William F. Buckley Jr. So you go to it, pay attention to his mannerisms. He's playing William F. Buckley.
Oh, that's funny.
So I think and watch also too for the cameo, the little in-joke where there's Pan Am, the flight.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen it for sure, but I remember enjoying it.
And the one thing interesting, because I would bring my dad to your restaurant, and
Yeah.
he would be a pain because what do you want? Food! And I'd have to, because if you go to Lovin Cup, you've been to Lovin Cup, how did you come up with the creative names for all it? Because I always get the white rabbit, and that's the eggplant.
Yes.
Oh, you know these too.
Oh, yeah. A lot of wine and a brainstorming session with my entertainment director. Yes, exactly. That's how these names came to be. Pauline, though, one of our managers, she's
who
really
was responsible for my addiction to Bitburger every time I come in there.
Bitburger's delicious. She's my pun queen because I have made up so many names over the years. She's really a good go-to for some fun names. But yeah, a lot of wine, and Willie O'Reilly, who's our entertainment director, he and I kind of came up with them to start.
But that's fun, though, isn't it? And then it makes sense. But I would always like the Ocean Man's to make sense in its own way. And you get the lingo after a while.
Yeah.
There's a couple, though, I admit, and I can't remember specifically. I couldn't bring myself to order because I didn't want to say it.
like whoops, I did it a grain, like a
Yeah,
grain
stuff
bowl.
like that. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have this one right here.
We try to keep it kind of corny, just, not take ourselves too seriously, like keep a little bit of like adolescent, humor.
How did you, like, with the coffee? Did you have any expert do it, or did you just come up with, because I'm always a big fan of I'm a coffee addict more than drinker, so.
Yeah, I have a passion for coffee, and we have great local coffee, no shortage there.
Who do you go to usually? Is it...
We go to Java's quite a bit. Canal Town is someone that we work with as well. We've worked with quite a few. We try to have like little guest appearances. Canal Town's probably the one we started with, but Java's is where we get our espresso. I hired Don Elcott, who was like one of the managers over at Boulder, and I think like the mayor of Rochester. Everyone knows him.
Yeah,
everyone knows him.
He's always Rob.
Yep. So I just brought him in to really be my expert on that, as well as Jason Trosky, who is also is very good at that kind of stuff. I'm really a big proponent of putting people in charge of things that, or going to experts and having them help you. We're not experts in everything.
You got it. That's the thing. I think a lot of people. I think social media does this to us, because I made the one snarky comment, because Facebook can be like a war zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the comment that people who can't cook are giving 5-star restaurants advice on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always said that one of the best things, if you're running a business, and I have my own business, I've been involved in things over the years, you always look for people who know what they're doing.
Right.
You don't assume, because there was actually a great thing in Anthony Bourdain's Kitchen Confidential, where if you read this book, if you've ever...
I love that book.
The one chapter about working at a restaurant, got it, because I know, like, when I worked at a restaurant, and what he said was, what happens, you'll have the person, you'll have the dentist retired, so him and his wife have dinner parties. Oh, people like the food, let's start a restaurant. So he goes through within a year how he's bankrupt, because you have to just know, I think it's having self-esteem too, because some people, they have a chip a little bit about, they don't realize they have to ask for help, and they think it's something that, okay, I know everything. You don't. You go to people and ask them, okay, what's good for brewing, what's good for coffee, what's good for food.
Exactly. Like when I was looking at putting in my my keg system, the first person I went to was Joe McBain, and I'm like,
no, never.
I know, it's shocking. Like the beer king. I knew he would have the right answers, and he was, he came to the restaurant and he was like, showed me how we could do a direct draw system to keep like our lines short. So I think pride is something you got to kind of throw out the window and just bring in.
I think it's a sign that I always look and say, okay, that's the way to run something. Though you're strong, you lean on other people. You need help doing it.
And that's okay, I think.
I mean, if you're like a multi-billionaire, you can blow $1 billion.
Yeah.
That's the one thing we were talking about, too. People don't realize you own a business. I mean, where's your yacht right now?
Yeah, I know, really.
I keep my Mercedes at home. Most fun. People do not make tons of money. It's out of love. It's great. People will tell you it's a passion of theirs. But if somebody owns a business, don't think they're rich.
No. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of sweat equity, and restaurants specifically are not a high margin.
I had
business.
the story I'll tell you is one of my parents' friends owned Pat's. It was Dan. I think it was Dan and Pat's. I forget the name. Glenn and Pat's. His name was on. It was like on Stone. He would get up, and he had like 4 heart attacks, and he finally retired. This is why.
Geez.
He would get up every morning, like at 3 or 4 in the morning, make everything fresh, and I guess it was great for because he made everything fresh. But the hours he put in,
it's crazy. Honestly.
Yeah, and that's why I always say one of my pet peeves, you can do whatever you want, be whatever you want, but if you don't tip, I want to punch you. I've been known enough times.
Absolutely.
But then how did you get, like, when you have the entertainment, who was some of, like, your first acts?
Oh, man.
Because when did you start? This year, I take it you're not going to have it because it's a strange year. But there's usually the Lovin Cup Fest. You have, like, the big Park Point Fest.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we do a big concert series out in the courtyard, yeah. So that has been
also, the thing I like about what you do, too, is you have local and you have national.
Yep.
I can go through so many acts. I've seen that. I've actually become like with Tony Levin when you've had him. He came out like the last time in January. Little did we know. But he came by, Tony.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, Rob.
Yeah. It's hard to remember the first acts that we've had.
I hate those. What's your favorite? What's your first?
Yeah, but we try to do a nice mix. I think it's really important for us to support local music. I think we are a music town. I think we have so much talent. But yeah, we really, Tom from the Bop Shop, we collaborate with him quite a bit on some of those bigger shows. So we've had some memorable acts up there that are like national that I go back and think about, like Aaron Freeman from Ween, which Don kind of helped us with.
That was one of those where I knew I could predict who would be there too. And I remember Fox 45 was thrilled to open for them, and I was thrilled.
The Isotopes, I remember, opened for them once, and they're great. Their smoke set off the fire alarm. I remember the fire alarm went off for Tony Levin, too.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And he wrote a song about it.
Yeah. So he's such a great guy, too. If anybody's he's one of these guys, he's been on over 500 albums.
Yeah.
Played with everybody, but he's also so personable. And he made this joke to me. It was the second, not the time in January, it was the time before.
Yeah.
Tony will meet you, talk to you, just say, he'll go grab a beer, he'll come out, hang with you. So I have his notes on the bass clef book. Mm-hmm. He saw it, he looks at it, this is a rare thing. I'll sign it, go sell it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's awesome.
And he's got that connection with Steve Gadd.
Yeah, which is very cool. Another memorable person that has since passed on to the other side is Bat McGrath, was a very special human that, would always come every year, and just, it was his home. It's the place he felt like was his home, and we celebrated his life. He's a memorable one. Wanda Jackson was a cool one.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah. We've had some
you
cool
go all the
stuff.
way,
yeah.
because you've had Ricky Ramone.
Yep.
And Rocket from the Tombs. You go punk, too.
Yep. All over the board.
The grandmothers of invention.
Oh, yeah, that's a fave.
One of your big things, everybody loves this, and the hardest death metal fans I know, my friends will, as soon as it advertises, will get tickets. It's Emmett Otter.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't even want to talk about that because, I have no idea how this year is going to go, so hopefully, but if you have to limit space for that, those things are going to go in 2 seconds.
Oh, my God, they already do.
They do. Emmett Otter, one of my friends is like Jeff Bauman, who on this, the Bauman. Rob, Emmett Otter on sale yet? I'll text him as soon as I see you.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah, I'm already getting people asking me, and I'm like, I don't know the answer to
That's the thing,
question.
really, here. We're going to talk about, obviously, we have to talk about the coughing elephant in the room a little bit. But these are, it's just, and I didn't realize my good friends Ben and Katie Morey were involved, and Kurt Johnson.
Yeah.
And I just, all the years, I never realized that then, Kurt? Ben?
Yeah.
Katie, you're making weird voices. You want? But it's for everybody, and I think I admit I'm one of the only people of my generation. Well, I still, I lie about my age all the time, and here's my show. Damn it! But everybody loves Emmett Otter.
It's I feel like it definitely has a cult following, and we have, actually Henson is backing us on it. Like the people who put it on, and it's not me.
I think whomever said that at the last show.
Yeah, they have to pay rights to them. So I think they're in the middle of making a decision of obviously we're going to have to limit this. Is it going to be worth paying this money to?
That's the one thing I've been
Henson?
talking about in terms of like a lot of acts is you also have the thing where. Is it worth, especially I know a lot of tourists just said, I know, like Samantha Fish was one I know.
Oh, yeah.
That she just changed it to 2021.
Yeah.
And I talked to some people, like I was talking to Sam Snyder, and he's doing actually another online show soon that he said, I said, hopefully maybe October. Mm-hmm. We keep shooting. I was supposed to go to Levon Helm Studios for a show, and it's a barn. If you've never been there, it's a barn up in upstate New York.
Haven't been.
Literally a barn. So it's very... And they keep putting it off, and I'm just saying, what are you going to do? Have a lottery and give refunds or whatever? It's cramped. It's not like your place.
Yeah, I think for bigger shows, I think a lot of people are going to err on the side of just kind of waiting. Yeah. Because it's a lot of work. Even Jeff Dale and I do an event in January called Homegrown, which is this giant all-day festival on our patio.
You do Lovin Cup Idol, too.
Oh, yeah.
And the funny thing is, I still remember I was out actually saw 88 at noon last night, and I was talking about, wait a second, I remember you doing Goodbye Yellow Brick Road on Lovin Cup Idol, and you did the Sarah Bareilles version, not the Elton John, and she got all excited.
Yeah.
But how does that go? Do you still do those?
We switched it a little bit a few years ago to The Choice, versus Idol, where we actually brought in some local musicians, and they all choose a vocalist to work with and train, and it becomes a competition for them. We got to the top 3, and COVID kind of came in and stole the show.
See, I'm oblivious. That's my problem. The years go by so much for me that I forget when we have things. I forget what year. That's why I keep my ticket stubs a lot of times.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you've got an officer. You had Primetime Funk there a lot, who's incredible.
Love them. So much energy. That's like a tough one because those are like the kind of bands that like we're really excited to have in there, but there's a lot of people in it.
The thing also is, again, too, there's like 400 people in the band.
There's a lot of people in the band.
It could be like Primetime Funk, the soloist, where you have like maybe 30 people.
Yeah.
Because again, I suppose you have to try to limit that too.
Yeah, and it's very hard not to dance to that music.
Yeah.
And dancing is not a thing.
It is, but I know you. I think you saw me with him. Oh, you were dancing. No, I wasn't. I think the high risers. I think like Stan Merrill's like, you're gonna get out of here.
Maybe just a head bob.
Yeah, a little bit. I can get into it. I was probably when I was in my drinking days.
Yeah.
But you do have every kind of music, and I've always said there's good music and there's bad music. Any genre.
Yeah.
You haven't had like a Guar or any of that stuff. But
No, I'm trying to think. There was like a pretty hardcore band we had early on that was pretty big, and I'm blanking on their name. I definitely like have one of their T-shirts
after we're done, I'm gonna know because I've been to so many of your shows.
Yeah,
so.
It was early, and I'm totally blanking. I feel like when we started to, I think we are like kind of a bunch of hippies, so we did a lot of that jam music, but we've really gotten to a place where we just try to be very diverse. I think we're a little different than other venues in that I think you can sit and make it this kind of experience for people. They can sit, they can eat, they can drink. It feels like more than just kind of standing at a show. So I feel like we get a lot of like when people want to do something special, like a CD release or like, you know what I mean?
Okay, I admit I did the one when Ian McLaughlin played. And I actually got, I still rest in peace. Ian too is unfortunate, but I sort of became friends with them because they're there a little bit. But I remember sitting on the thing at the bar and bouncing on this and almost going flying off the.
Oh, the bouncy chair.
Yeah, because I was telling people, well, their chairs are great there, but be careful. And I think I had a couple too many iced coffee, so I was all wired. It's like, give me a white rabbit. This is a coffee, a white room.
Yeah.
Because the white rabbit's the other thing. But I also thought the other way you could have gone is you could have just called it all food, which would have been really tough for the wait staff.
Yeah.
Food. That was one of my favorite jokes in Repo Man.
Yeah.
Is if you watch, everything is just labeled, it's food, everything else. But I think the wait staff would be really, why are you firing all the people? Well, they don't know which is which. So one of the big things obviously now is, okay, we're rolling along this year. I saw Tony Levitt, some other things. And all of a sudden, everything went to hell. And when you heard the news in this, how did you react being an owner? And do you hope it would just go away, maybe?
I feel like I remember the Friday when I was like getting like real, and I was, the half capacity thing kind of came into play. And I feel like my natural, I feel like at first I kind of had shock, and then my natural thing to do is to be like, all right, what can we do to like make this easier for everyone? So actually Jeff Dale and I got a bunch of people together that were like restaurant, breweries, just local establishments. We got together and just, I got some people from government there so we could send some ideas, thoughts, questions. I feel like I just wanted a place, and we actually have this restaurant association kind of thing that kind of came of it, where we kind of are leaning on each other and supporting each other. But yeah, we just kind of came together so we could get some answers and work together and just help each other, because we're going, it sucks, but we're all going through it together. So that's like the only thing I can kind of go back to, is at least we're not going through this alone. We have people around us to mediate and come up with ideas and that kind of thing. And the community is strong. So I feel like, although it sucks, I feel like some cool things have come of it.
I think it doesn't sink in at first. And I always give the example, when I was in England, I had to go to the Hammersmith Odeon.
Yeah.
And the Brits are telling me, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Going to this. And then there's a bomb threat there. And I'm laughing at this time, pre 9/11 and everything else. I'm laughing, bomb threats. Those are what friends of mine would do calling at school. And they're all like, he's crazy, And I don't think it sinks in at first. And at first,
it doesn't. It doesn't.
We didn't know, because it would start slowly, and you would think, okay, we've had various things over the years.
Mm-hmm.
but nothing's going to happen. Then all of a sudden the Sam Kinison voice hits you. It's like, why?
Yeah, I feel like it was the day after St. Patty's Day, like where people were out, and I remember kind of going on Facebook and coming across this post from my friend who was living in Italy, and that's when it really hit me.
Yeah, I heard
and
all
he was
about
like,
that.
yeah, he was like, I see Americans kind of acting the same way, hoping that it will kind of go away, kind of like, and I'm telling you, this thing is real. And I read this, huge, post from this person that I knew well, and I was like, it kind of hit me like a bag of bricks. And then I feel like from there on, it was like,
something
okay.
new, because it's like I always heard about, because my parents grew up with the Depression, but you can hear about it, you didn't live through it. And I would say we would have economic downtimes, and my mom would tell me, don't think of this, nobody could get a job back then. My dad had to go, his parents had to give him to relatives because they couldn't afford to feed him. And this was really, and you don't live through it though, you can try to, like the Spanish flu, and the reason they called it the Spanish flu back was because there was one of the only newspapers that were still going were in Spain, so it's not really the Spanish flu.
Right.
But people lived through that outbreak, and we never really, I had chicken pox, we've had swine flu, all the other various, I think I had West Nile from walking my dog.
Oh, wow.
But you don't think about it. You think it's not going to happen here, it's not going to happen in modern day world. I Am Legend's a movie.
Yeah, I think we, for some reason, just think we're invincible, and I don't think anyone saw it
But
coming.
I remember when this happened, I was debating going on. I was just amazed. First of all, St. Patrick's Day, obviously, big day and I used to work at a bar, and yes, it was a mixed blessing because we made so much money. But I would be dead by the end of the day because I was I was at Monty's Corner, and especially if it was cold, people would come in.
Right.
But I remember all of a sudden they're canceling the parade. They're canceling everything, and at first, you think they're overreacting. But I decided again to go out. I went to Iron Smoke just to see my friend's band 1916. Tommy'd halved it. And this is like, okay, this is going to pass in a couple weeks. And then the next day...
Exactly, that's exactly when.
The next day, though, I was going to go down to the Daily Refresher because my friend handed us shows there. She's got to schedule things. So Cammie Ann Harrow was going to come in.
Ooh.
I was thrilled to see her again because she'd moved.
Right.
So I always like to walk, so I parked down by Rock, the gallery. And
right.
It was like the guy in 28 Days Later waking up and coming out of the hospital. I'm walking down East Avenue. It's like a ghost town. Nobody's there, and I'm waiting for that zombie thing to come running out at me because I hadn't known. So I went down. Daily Refresher was closed. So I went to Record Archive. Figure I'm down here. They were supposed to have like a big show that night. That was canceled. That was when you went in, hit the hand sanitizer.
Right.
And this was before the mask and everything.
Yeah.
And then, have you seen any craziness? I'd like to state, too, I don't think wearing a mask is a plot by the Illuminati to enslave us all. Okay?
Right.
I have not seen, we have all our stances. I think, be smart, be considerate. But I've never really seen anything really bad about so far. I've heard horrible incidents, and I think that's terrible when we should all be together instead of just fussing over petty, crap.
I am lucky. We have had a few incidents. I can't say that I haven't.
A couple at the store. Actually, a couple weeks ago, they had a couple people, and I forgot my wallet. The first time ever, my COVID brain, 2020 brain. I don't want to insinuate I'm, plague, typhoid Mary or anything. But, so I had to go home, and I live like 5 minutes from Wegmans. But they had the 2 police cars taking people away.
Yeah,
how would you like to work? And I always say, put yourself in other people's positions. If you're working at a restaurant, you're checkout. How would you like to deal with people like trying to spit on you, cough on you?
I just think we've been through it. I feel like if you have any consideration at all, when you're walking up to any restaurant or small business, it's like they've been through hell. And
oh, yes.
Can I just put my philosophies aside and kind of, just be considerate, be kind. I had an incident where 3 people walked up, three dudes, and they were all coming for lunch, and one of them just wasn't going to wear a mask, and he was kind of having a tantrum, and his friends were kind of like, all right, bro, well, we're going to go have lunch, and they just kind of let him go off, and they had a beautiful time. And
biggest complaint ever was the one time with, again, Tony Levin, he was sold out, seeing people. It was like sardines in there. Seeing people come to the door and seeing sold out go away.
Yeah. I don't know. I think people People we've been pretty fortunate. People
You are.
have
I've
been
never
pretty
had any.
considerate.
I mean, this
over the years.
Rochester. I guess I just don't hang in those places wherever the bad places or whatever. I've never really seen incidents any place I go. And the people, they're always good people who run the place. It's always.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing. First place I went to Avino, my friend Janine.
Yep.
For takeout. Okay, I'm going to try. So I'm like calling up, hi, it's Rob.
Yeah.
And, you pay with credit, obviously. You go pick it up, and you text them when you get there.
Right.
So I did this, but then they put the tent up. And all I could think of, it would be like some kind of surreal show. A doctor's operating, and they have takeout in the emergency room because everybody's got masks on.
Oh, my gosh.
It's like, okay, now the ribs. Oh, we have to stop the spleen operation.
Oh, my
go
gosh.
deliver the ribs.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, once you see it first time, it's like, imagine somebody going through a time tunnel from 1990, seeing people.
I know. It's crazy.
People want us to wear, and I want banks to open because I want to wear a mask going into a bank.
I know. You just want to have that experience.
And I had
right?
the first time I got pulled over by the cops last week going home. I rarely go out, but I'm driving home and I get pulled over and I'm, oh, come on, it's 2020. What did I do? I'm going to be in a freaking prison in Devil's Island. And it turned out they were very sweet, but it's weird seeing a goofy guy with a gun come up to you with a mask on.
Yeah. Did you keep your mask on?
Well,
too?
what I did was I had it, and number one, I'm sitting there. I have a Three Stooges shirt on and a Bullwinkle mask. So I figure it's like, please step out of the car. But they pulled me over, and they were really nice. And they said, you know why we stopped you? And I don't want to even know. And it turned out I had my front headlight was out.
Oh.
And I didn't, honestly, I told them, I rarely go out these days, not like old social butterfly days. And to be honest, too, if I knew, I would have fixed it. So they were real nice. They gave me a fix-it ticket.
Nice.
But I had this, and I wasn't wearing it driving. So the
Yeah.
one there were two of them. Maybe they're doing that now. The one came up on the left, one on the right, and he had it on. I was like, and I had this up here, and he said, I don't.
Yeah. I've always thought I haven't been pulled over, thankfully, but I'm like, should I wear
Check
it?
your
Should I not?
lights.
Like, I don't know, but yeah, it's strange times.
But then when you started to reopening, I know you started, it was patio, and you've done the takeout, because I know I did it once.
Yes, we started with the takeout a few days a week. We waited, though, longer than a few other
I
restaurants.
can't remember when because I always said, okay, Avino, Lovin Cup, as soon as Lovin Cup opens, I have to get something there.
Yeah.
And it took
It was
a while.
it was very cool. We just wanted to be sure we were ready. We took a few extra weeks.
I think that's the thing where if you jumped in, especially, this is, again, foreign territory.
It sure is.
And it's just strange, again, just a segue. Think about not long ago, like I would have, okay, I need dog food. I'll go to Chewy.com. I don't want to go out.
Yeah.
But I would go if I needed groceries, and I try to go as few times as possible. Think if you have to go to the store for something. You just go and you do it. Now, I got to bring my mask. I got to bring my sanitizer. I got to do this. I'd have the sheet, and then I'd forget the sheets. I'd be lost. I'd have a plan to literally go in there and get the heck out of there as fast as possible. Because I saw the first night, they had the little squares. Some guy couldn't navigate holding a pizza and going up there. And, I don't want to stand here. And, this is going to be fun.
I haven't been to Wegmans since COVID-19 has started because and my husband has to go anyways because he's picking up stuff for the restaurant. I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this because I just feel like people have been nuts. So
no, they have. The other thing is there is Instacart, and people have done that too.
Right.
I've debated I don't promote places that don't give me money on here, or aren't friends of mine. So, but there are places I know friends have not gone at all. They've done the pickup, just call and have it delivered. And I live by a Target, and I go for walks every day.
Mm-hmm.
I live by the mall, and I've seen where I'll go down. There's like the little path to go down, then I'll go back up. And there's the thing for pickup. So there is that option too. If people complain about wearing masks or you just don't want to deal with it, you can pick it up.
Exactly. Exactly.
And a lot of places, what they'll do, if they don't have your item, you might get lucky. They might offer a more expensive item for the same price.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Cool.
found that out actually.
That's interesting.
Which is cool.
That is cool.
Because I'm always afraid. I've grown up again working at bars. I used to hit some of the takeout, we'd go in the drive-thru afterwards, and I remember trying to get a burger somewhere and getting a cinnamon roll. That's not going to happen. And I still remember my friend, it's a cinnamon roll.
That's awesome.
They fuck you at the drive-thru.
Oh my gosh. That's so
But then the movie idea is really cool too.
I think it is. like you were saying, we have a
No,
huge patio.
you're not going to do like Dawn of the Dead or 28 Days Later. I Am
No, we're
Legend.
going to steer clear of those right now. No, we're really kind of going throwbacky, I feel like, a little bit with most of them. But yeah, our patio's huge. We have a giant tent. It's a nice night where you can just kind of go out. There's a nice breeze. Get a bucket of Three Heads is sponsoring it, so bucket of 3 Head beer.
3 heads are better than one.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was one time that night I barely remember when you had the 3 heads tasting.
Which one?
A certain musician that I won't mention, he saw me the day after when I had to drive him home. Was like, how did I get home? But he didn't drive home. I drove him home, and I'm not going to mention his name.
Oh, my gosh.
Until his shows come up and I get in free forever.
That's hilarious.
Oh, you've had a lot of yeah. That's always...
We've done a lot of nights where I think people maybe walked out and don't remember things. Yeah, we used to do a lot of beer tasting. We do a lot with 3 Heads. We're obviously super tight with them.
Oh, yeah, and they have a nice brewery. I mean, that's the beauty about Rochester is you could find plenty of breweries, different kinds. There's Black Button Cider, Blue
Blackbird,
Toad.
there's Blackbird, though,
I'm thinking of Tommy.
Yeah. Well, there's, honestly, this city is, I mean, that's why Jeff and I do that giant homegrown thing, that Rochester homegrown, because we feel like Rochester doesn't get as much appreciation as it deserves. I mean, we have like so many awesome things. Like,
well, I tell this
ridiculous.
is the typical thing. And I've lived away. I've lived different places. I lived in Alexandria, and what I found is a lot of people. I'm getting out of here. Then a couple more years later, they come home and they don't realize.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I have a really good friend. Ironically, again, I was supposed to visit her in Philadelphia. And dealing with the things I've done with my dad over the years with his dementia, I couldn't get out. But I was going to go visit her. So what happens literally the week of going to visit her? This hits, and by Wednesday I'm talking to her. How's it doing in Philly? And so I didn't go. But the thing for Philly, when you're from Rochester, it's everything to do. There are all kinds of restaurants. I will get there, swear my head off when I start hitting Philly proper driving. That good old, the social distancing salute comes out a lot.
Oh my gosh.
And if you think, like, and then I'll come back here and go, I complained about driving on the expressway here for 15 minutes. I was stuck for 45 to 50 minutes driving when I hit Philly proper.
Absolutely.
And the drivers suck worse than here. The only thing is they go so slow you can go in between.
Yeah.
But so the way that I just leave my car by our house, don't take it. Then I go home at like 4 a.m. when I go home.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't realize here how we have that even. Like, and I'll always complain about it because I'm one of those. My personality changed to Mr. Hyde when I'm driving. It's like for Lovin Cup too. I'm there's parking, yay.
Yes, yes.
And how is it? You probably know a little because again, our Lovin Cup is right by RIT. How's it going with RIT coming back and everything else?
You know, I'm certainly seeing people. A lot more people.
I saw them when I was down a couple weeks ago at your place coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I know what their plans are a little bit, and it seems like they're, loosely their plans. They essentially have had people moving into dorms like in different, groups, brand new students, there were different days and allotments. They had 1 hour to get into their dorm. And they could bring one person with them.
This is going to be because one of my friends actually, his son's going to Morrisville today.
Yeah.
And I was talking to his son about, and he said, we're pretty much going to be in our dorms. Yep. And you don't have to go crazy, but I also think there's the aspect of the social life and everything. And I know when I was that age, I would be stupid. So, and we've heard all the stuff about Florida, how young people are. So you just hope for the best. You hope that they have some brains and everything on it.
I'm glad they're taking the parameters because I'm right next door to them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of that myself when I come down there.
Yep. They're being great. I know the courtyard, like the old Marriott courtyard that they bought in our dorms on West Henrietta, is set aside for quarantining if they come across
That's what I
found
cases. At this college. I was talking again to one of my friend's sons, and he said that they have things set aside.
They do, and they just purchased the Radisson next door to me. So they are definitely not they're taking this seriously, and I know they did a lot of like touch lists. They've changed the campus. They've spent,
I'm still involved with St. John Fisher a little bit. I usually go up there, do a little advising for the history club of my friends. So I talked to my friend who's a professor there. He said they were starting in August. They're going to end by Thanksgiving. We actually done podcasts from his office. And we're sort of queasy about, we're going to see, because I even try for this. I try to be very safe and everything. And yes, it's down, and especially upstate, but you always want to be careful till it's over. And I always say, you've got the good attitude, too. It's going to be we're not going to make any predictions, are we? I'm hoping for the best for you for winter, but I guess you said when it gets a little cooler, you're going to go inside a little. Because understand, they have a very big patio.
Yes.
So it's very spacious and...
Yeah, we're going to keep the tent up till, I think, November 1st. Hope for a really nice Indian summer. But
it's
yeah,
been warm as heck, mosquito-y as heck, too.
Yeah, the bugs have been out, but we have had a beautiful summer. That is like one thing that it is. Everyone should be thankful for. But yeah, we're going to start doing some stuff inside, actually starting this week, and we have, standards for, obviously the tables are very spaced out. There's going to be a minimum for seating.
What kind of drugs did they do if they were spaced out?
I don't know.
Oh, and the one thing, I've seen this, okay, keep an eye for it.
Okay.
I've seen people, the tables are spaced out so there's a big group, and they push them together.
Oh, yeah. We have a sign, and I got this one from John Alcott, that says, the furniture is in their place for a reason. Do not move it. We wouldn't come to your house and move your furniture. And
I would.
Yeah, you would.
I'd steal some stuff too, probably. But yeah, I mean, that's another thing where I had tickets for the comedy at the Carlson for one thing. It was the continuous struggle where it went 3 dates and I got a refund.
Oh my god!
And that's like the year I was going to go see Nick Cave in Philly.
Oh yeah.
But then I'm thinking that's first world problems. I'm complaining.
It is. You're allowed to be disappointed though. You're allowed.
I've seen Nick Cave before, but he was awesome. So maybe he would have sucked this time. Look at it that way.
Yeah.
But then you think about that too, how like I would go see Jason Isbell every year.
Yeah.
And one of my friends, Moondog Dave, he said sort of a bad year. He's like, I need this. It was Trey Anastasio, Jason Isbell.
Yeah.
And it was the only time they were playing together. We grabbed tickets the first day. We were like fifth row.
I was gonna go.
And then he literally got them when they went on sale.
Yeah.
He's Rob, we're going. And I'm like, great. I could sneak out during Trey Anastasio because
stop it.
Hey,
you don't like him?
I always say, you like I get heat by that sometimes. Like one of my friends called me some bad names for not liking the Grateful Dead. He's like, I like some. I always like something from. I like some, but it's usually not my.
It's not your cup of tea.
Jam band. They're hugely talented.
Yeah.
But But it's like I would have stayed for both of them. But then. We're waiting. I got the text. Mm-hmm. It was like the saddest text in the world.
I know.
That this was literally the only time we go see. I've seen Jason Isbell probably more than anybody for big shows. I'm not
never
a big
seen
show
him,
person.
and I want to.
He's incredible. We went down to New York to see him at the Beacon.
Oh wow!
And then he played Water Street. He was better here.
Wow!
But he comes. He does those shows down to CMAC now.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best songwriters, and he's always. But one story I'll give you. One of my friends met him when he was in Drive-By Truckers. Then he met him. He's walking down East Avenue. He's going to play here. And he's like, Mr. Isbell. It's like, I met you before. And he's like, you met me when I, used to drink. Was I an asshole to you? And Amanda Shires, his wife, is great. But I highly recommend going.
I would love it.
But my friend was, so we had fifth row for this.
Wow.
And it went down the drain.
Yep. I had a few shows that I was going to have for the first time. I was going to go see Ben Folds at the Philharmonic.
Ben Folds Live is one of my favorite albums.
So cool. And then the Avett Brothers I have become obsessed with. And
I have to get into them because everybody loves them.
So good. And they were going to play at Omegang. I had free tickets, and it was like my anniversary weekend.
Oh. Another one you've had, Bill Kirchen.
Oh,
and I remember what Bill said, though, like he wrote the song about the high risers.
Yeah.
Because he said, Trout Mouse and whatever. But he said that, he said we don't have a lot of bands. And I know a friend who moved to Georgia. He said, I love Atlanta. I love it here. But the weird thing for me is I know you say you could, if somebody came up to me, not this year, but any year, I could tell people, okay, what kind of music you like. You can find it here. He said, I can't find any shows down here.
Really?
Yeah, and I was surprised for Atlanta, but he loves the place. It's just that
he
said, we don't get anything like you do at all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And when I lived in D.C., either we would drive to Maryland and stuff like, we saw a George Thorogood concert, or when I was in Albany, we saw, I think it was George Thorogood and Suzanne Vega, but it was nothing like here. So I had to look, but Bill Kirchen too, he was there.
Great.
Another guy who's great, personable, and he raves about like the scene here.
He loves it here. He comes and does his annual Christmas show.
Oh, yes. Well, this year we'll...
he actually... Well, we'll have to see. He actually keeps it so small on the stage. We could probably do it and, do several shows, but we'd have to, we'd keep it very...
That's all we're going to do is say wait and see.
Wait and see.
No predictions about 2021, except it'll be 2021. And like for this year, I didn't have 20/20 hindsight on this year either. Had I known,
oh my God,
I would have used some of my small business money to buy an island or something to go away, a coffee plant, coffee plants.
Yeah.
But it's been very cool having you.
Oh my gosh,
I will
awesome.
see you on Friday. Are you going to be here Friday?
I'm actually out of town. I'm taking.
Well, I'm not going to take over for you there, but
go feel free.
I will be there. I don't want the responsibility.
All right. Just
it's like
enjoy
when
yourself.
your staff came up to me, it's like with the mask and everything. It's like, okay, I'll go in order. But you're going to have one of our good friends, Meg Williams.
Yes.
Last time she played in Rochester was at Lovin Cup.
Yes, indeed.
And she's actually come up. She's been up from what I heard in Nashville. Right now, they're going through a lot of crap. They're one of the places. Alyssa Trahan told me that she just said, I mean, she's very nice, so I don't want to talk about it. That's what she said. But she said the mayor, it's really bad down there. And she would even say if she tried to visit up here, they're one of the quarantine things.
Yeah.
But Meg fled a long time ago, and she's been up here doing her concerts, and she's playing a little, but she's going to be playing out on Friday.
She is.
And I will be there. And
starting at 5, we have free music on the patio.
Because I always forgot the times, but I had it written on I do my little calendar, then I can't read it. But we're going to play, but show them now, give information to add, because it's at Park Point, but some people don't know where that is. It's South Jefferson by RIT.
Yeah.
That's probably like me, you probably don't know the address.
Yeah, no, it's 300 Park Point Drive, Suite 101. It's right on the corner of John Street
and first
Jefferson.
time ever, when I was down there last week, first time ever, I drove past it, and I had to turn on the gas station.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. It's like 2020, yay!
Yeah, I feel like we're just, we're not going to places as often. I've done the same thing several times. I also feel like I'm not as good of a driver anymore, because I just...
The one thing I did, I don't know if it's the same for you, I haven't gotten gas in so long, as much, and also I haven't gotten oil changes in so long.
Oh yeah.
But for a while I was not I'm saving so much money on gas. But as soon as I got out there, I started swearing at people and going, "You suck," and everything on the road. So I've
learned of your road rage today. Yeah.
Oh, I've always done that. I'm always like a different person. I think a lot of us are, though.
That's funny.
It's like peace, except for
I have moments.
But we're going to play something for Meg and come down on Friday.
Yep.
And she always ends her shows on with a little bit of the devil, and it's a good song. And she's a little bit of the devil. If you ever hear her play, she's got such great soul with the guitar.
She does.
And she's real. I can't say enough good things about her.
She's awesome.
And I remember, and I love, one of the things I love about Rochester too, I've seen so many people from the beginning. I remember when she was first starting out, and all of a sudden, wow, here's Meg.
I know.
I want to get to the point where they have the big shows and they ignore me. Because I always said that when you play Madison Square Garden, I want backstage. It's like,
absolutely.
Rob,
yeah.
But thanks a lot.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me. This has been so much
always. Fun. That's what I'm trying to do, trying to help keep us afloat.
Well, thank you.
And I wish the best for everyone. I've always said I hope the best for everybody on this. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, except for that person I don't like. Who remains nameless,
Oh, my God.
But,
well, yeah.
I'm not a saint, so.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you reaching out and you just highlighting the things that we're doing.
I'm even sympathetic to Bills fans.
Yeah. Oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know.
What team are
you?
I
like the Vikings, so I can't complain.
I don't hate the Vikings.
No, but they're good. See, they're a good metaphor for life, because you get some teams, they suck or they're good. The Vikings will never be terrible, but they will always disappoint in the end.
It's like being a Bills fan, but they have been
we don't
awful
have
for a while.
We don't have our 1-13 seasons, and they have Diggs this year.
Yeah.
So
I have been joking that this would have been the year that the Bills would have gone to the Super Bowl.
That's what I said. It's like, I said, you're a baseball fan. If you have the worst team in baseball, you're not going to lose 60 games.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot, and have just hope it goes well, and I will see you. And I've used this. I will see you eventually.
I'll see you eventually.
So here's Meg Williams, a little bit of the devil, and thank you, Leslie.
Troubles, and she's leaving all her past, 'cause she knows she got no time for that. Working on her problems for every other day, 'cause she knows she got some other things to say. She knows what she wants, did she give it all she got? And if there's something more, she'll never ya. Little bit of the devil in ya. She's a trick chaser, rap shaker, do what she wants 'cause you're never gonna make her slow down or give it up, live it alive, just the way she wants it. It's hard when you're with her, not to catch some of that fever. I know what she's doing, yeah, she put a little bit of the devil